Alright, this should say example 5. We're going to graph f of x equals 2x squared plus x by determining whether the graph opens up or down. In this case, it opens up by finding its vertex, axis of symmetry, y-intercept, and x-intercepts. Alright, so we already know it opens up. Its vertex, we're going to use h equals negative b over 2a. Okay, here's our a, b, and c. If I plug it in, I get negative 1 over 2 times 2, which is 4. Negative 1/4, our k is going to be f of negative 1/4. 2 times 1 over 16 plus negative 1/4 plus 1. If you do all that out, you end up with 7 over 8. I'm confident that you guys can do fractions. If you have trouble with this, let me know tomorrow. Okay, so the vertex is at negative 1 over 4, 7 over 8, which means the axis of symmetry is, x equals negative 1/4. Okay? The y-intercept is basically where x equals 0, which in this case is going to be 1. And if you look at the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. You get 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 1, which is less than 0, because 1 minus something bigger is going to be negative. So there are no real solutions, which means no x-intercepts. Alright, let's graph it. So, f of 0 is 1. That's right here. That's our y-intercept. Our vertex is negative 1/4. So like here, 7 over 8. Almost 1. And there's our axis of symmetry. Okay? Determine the domain and range. The domain, of course, all real numbers. The range, this is 7 over 8, and it goes all the way to infinity. Okay? Whereas f increasing and decreasing, well, it's increasing from this point, which is negative 1/4 to infinity, and it's decreasing from negative infinity to negative 1/4. Alright, I'll let you guys try that one. Okay, steps for graphing a quadratic function by hand. I'm going to do option 1 first, and then I'll pause. The first way you could do this, if you have a quadratic function, is to complete the square and get it into this form, and then graph using transformations. I tend to like this way better, just because I've never really liked memorizing formulas, but a lot of people like the second option better. Right, the second way you could graph it is to first of all determine whether the graph opens up or down, then plug your vertex in, or plug A and B in, figure out your vertex, figure out your axis of symmetry. Determine your y-intercept, that's when you plug in 0 for x. Your discriminant will tell you how many x-intercepts there are, and you can solve that by factoring, and then plot the points and graph. Okay, so once again, I prefer this one, but I actually think that most people prefer the formula way. For the problems on quizzes and tests, I really don't care how you do it unless the computer specifies that it wants a particular method. Whichever way you like better. I'd like you to know both ways, but in general, whichever way you like better is fine with me. Okay, example 6. Determine the quadratic function whose vertex is, this is our h and k, and whose y-intercept is this. Alright, so we've got y equals x minus h, x minus h squared plus k. We know h and k. X minus 1 squared plus negative 5. Okay, now the y-intercept is 3. That means that f of 0 equals negative 3. Okay, so this is my equation. I have everything except my a. But I know that if I plug in 0 for x, I should get negative 3. So let's plug in 0 and negative 3 for x and y. 0 minus 1 is negative 1 squared is positive 1, so I have a minus 5. I'll add 5 to both sides. A is 2. So I can plug everything back in. Y equals 2 times x minus 1 squared minus 5. And there we go. And the graph of the parabola was supposed to be shown, but that's okay. We can just draw it in. It goes down 5 to the left, or sorry, to the right 1, up 2 over 1. Looks something kind of like that. All right. You know what? I didn't give you a graph for this one. Let me draw one for you guys. Sorry about that. I meant to scan one and stick it in here. Let me see. Let's do... And I'll just tell you, it's not stretched or compressed at all. That point is 4, 3. Okay, you guys can figure that one out. Okay? All right, example 7. Determine whether the quadratic function has a maximum or minimum value. Then find the maximum or minimum value. Now, if you think about it, if the graph opens up, it's going to have a minimum value. If the graph opens down, it's going to have a maximum value. This one is positive, has a positive a, so we know it opens up. Therefore, it has a minimum value. Okay, so we know it has a minimum value. We need to figure out what that value is. All right, so I am actually going to complete the square just because that's what I like to do. So I've got x squared minus 4x. B over 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 4 and subtract 4. I should probably put the f of x over here. And don't forget the minus 5. This is a perfect square. It's x minus 2 squared. Negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. So if you were to graph this, you would go down 9. And this way too. Oh, sorry, this way too. So the minimum value would be at 2, negative 9. There we go. And you guys, oh goodness, I didn't give you one again. All right, let's try, let me see. Actually, I have a book right in front of me. I can just probably look one up for you. Okay, here's a good one. There you go. Try that one. All right, that's all.